This week's parasha contains within it the true secrets of the purpose of creation and some very, very fascinating information to help us understand our relationship with Hashem. It's one of my favorites. It has a very interesting pasuk where Hashem speaks to Moshe and he says, "Speak to Bnei Israel and say to them, when a man or a woman shall dissociate themselves by taking a Nazarite vow of abstinence for the sake of Hashem," and then it says in a few pasukim later, this person is holy to Hashem. So there's a story in Gemara Nedarim. Shimon HaTzadik said, "Only once in my life have I eaten of the korban asham brought by a nazir that became tameh. On one occasion, a nazir came from the south country, and I saw that he had beautiful eyes and was very handsome, and he had thick locks of hair symmetrically arranged. I asked him, 'My son, what reason did you see to destroy your beautiful hair?' He replied, 'I was a shepherd for my father in my town, and one time when I went to draw water from the well, I saw my reflection in the water, and suddenly my Yetzer Hara rushed upon me and sought to drive me from the world through sin. But I said to my lust, wretch, why do you take pride in a world that is not yours, in one who is destined to become worms and dust? I swear that I will shave you off," talking about his hair, "for the sake of heaven." I immediately arose and kissed him, Shimon HaTzadik said, saying, "My son, may there be many Nazarites such as you in Israel. Of you, the Holy Torah says, when a man or a woman shall dissociate himself by taking the Nazarite vow of abstinence for the sake of Hashem." See Gemara Nedarim 9b. Until this young shepherd came along, Shimon HaTzadik, the Kohen Gadol for 40 years, had never eaten a korban of a Nazir. He held that the average Nazir was not completely sincere and would eventually regret his neder. Therefore, the korban would become batal because it would be the status of chulin ba'azara. What did he see in this young shepherd that made him do it differently this time? To understand what Shimon HaTzadik saw, we have to understand the Hebrew word that is used for dissociate, which is yafli. Yafli can mean dissociate, according to Rashi, and it can also mean who shall do something outstanding. This is Ibn Ezra's definition. It is truly uncommon for someone to take a vow that will cut him off from physical pleasures that others find exciting. However, is refraining from wine and not cutting one hair for 30 days so outstanding? Is this something we can really get excited about and praise someone with the title of holy person? Wouldn't, like, say, supporting a kollel or even opening a soup kitchen be much more inspiring? Well, compared to other mitzvot, we must ask again, why did Shimon HaTzadik become excited about the simple promise of this young shepherd? Shimon HaTzadik saw the young shepherd was motivated purely l'shem shemaim. Think about it. The shepherd was by himself when he made the neder. No one saw, no one heard. Until Shimon HaTzadik asked, nobody was going to find out. He was looking at his reflection and became completely self-motivated, not to seek approval of anybody else. This made his act truly kadosh. This was truly outstanding and worthy of the Mizbeach. The parasha then says, Vahi bayom kalot Moshe. Moshe finished setting up the Mishkan. On this, Rabbi Shimon says in the Midrash, Kol makom shehu omer vahi, davar shehaya nispak leharbe yamim v'chazar. Any place you see the word vahi, davar shehaya nifsak, something has stopped, v'chazar, and now it returns. What's this related to? Well, on the pasuk Bati legani achati chala, Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmani teaches that Hashem desired a dwelling in the lowest world. When Hashem created the world, His Shekhinah was dwelling with Adam. It was mithalech bagan. It was walking with him in the garden. But when Adam sinned, the Shekhinah fled, and eventually, with each subsequent generation, it fled further until it was right in the seventh heaven, as far away as can be from the earth. Until this process was reversed by Avraham, then Yitzchak, and the Midrash says it was finished by Moshe when he erected the Mishkan. How do we understand this? Well, there's a series of Maimarim called Basi Legani, and in them we're taught about the purpose of the creation of the world. Now, you should know, in the sources, many reasons are given for the purpose of the creation of the world, and this Maimar comes to resolve all that. Firstly, it starts with what's discussed in the Zohar, that Hashem desired to be king, And then there's another passage that says he desired to be known. Next, we are taught about what the Arizal explains in Pri Etz Chaim, that Hashem wanted to be complete in Ma'aseh as well as Pa'al, in action as well as deed. This Maimah asks kashas on all of these. For example, Hashem is not limited, so he doesn't need to create to be a king. Also, he's so great that there is no difference between Ma'aseh and Pa'al for him. It therefore concludes that the real purpose of creation is mentioned in this midrash by the pasuk Bati Legani. Hashem desired a dwelling in the lowest world. This is based on Hashem's own statements in Tanakh. He says several times that he brought us out of Egypt to dwell among us, to walk among us, as I've said many times in my drashot. Now, before explaining what this means, I want to bring one more reason given for the purpose of the creation of the world. In Derech Hashem, which is also based on the Zohar, the Ramchal says that the purpose of creation is for Hashem to give from his own goodness lezulato, to his other. Is this a contradiction to what the Alter Rebbe taught us in Tanya about Hashem desiring a dira bitachtonim? Well, at first glance, this seems like a different purpose, to give to another, not to make a dwelling. But as we will see, they are truly the same. This Shavuot, I was zocha to be learning a maimah called Biyah Devarim on another pasuk in Shir Hashirim that starts Se'ena or Ena, where the Alter Rebbe explains something profound. He asked the same question as the Ramchal. Hashem is perfect, and this means that he cannot receive anything. So how can he have any pleasure in creating the world? He says that this answer is not dealt with in Eitz Chaim by the Arizal at all. So he brings another sefer, another deep sefer called Emek HaMelech, which helps us understand how Hashem can receive delight in the deeds of the Tzaddikim. Haben Yakili Ephraim. If Hashem cannot receive, and he answers that when Tzaddikim perform acts of righteousness that emulate Hashem, this causes a shefa of Hashem's light to be drawn down and reward the tzaddik in this lowest world. And it is this rewarding the tzaddik that Hashem takes delight in, his own delight, which the Alter Rebbe says is a ta'anug enketz, an infinite delight. Sha'osha hamelech ba'atzmuto, Hashem takes delight in himself, which is sha'ashua im hasadikim. Hashem consulted the tzaddikim, so to speak, like I said in a previous lecture, and that is his purpose and blueprint of creating the world, to have a relationship with us where he gives us his good through our deeds. We draw his light into the world, making it into a dwelling place for his Shekhinah through our mitzvot. By receiving his goodness, he takes the pleasure of being mashpia. So really, it's all the same. Hashem created the world to give us his very goodness, which is his delight, and ours. And this is exactly what a dira is. Two partners in a home they built together and where they can delight in each other. Bati legani achoti kala. A marriage, a family. The story of Shimon HaTzaddik's Nazir illustrates this perfectly. The Nazir was performing an act of real sidkut. He wanted to cut his hair and conquer his lowliness for the sake of Hashem, to bring nachat ruach to his creator, which we know is infinite. And he did it only for that reason and not for his own personal benefit. Shimon HaTzaddik recognized the truth. This act of doing it lishma, to please Hashem, makes a real difference. The difference between a korban being kadosh or chulin. And when it's kadosh, this meat, this food, this substance of this lowest world becomes worthy of being eaten by Hashem's Kohen Gadol. That one person in the whole world, so holy that he can go into the Kodesh Kodashim and say Hashem's ineffable name. Now, we all have this in us, especially in our generation. The very Maimah Bati Legani explains that this lowest generation, where it's the very hardest of all to do a mitzvah with no tangible gain or reward, at this point in time, every mitzvah we do is on this level of lishma and brings this level of nachat ruach to Hashem, hastens the Mashiach, and the day when Hashem Shekhinah will dwell in the dir of bitachon with all of us once and for all. May we all merit to bring this nachat ruach to Hashem, hasten the Geula, and soon see His Shekhinah mamash dwelling with us in this world. Shabbat Shalom.